So it's interesting. I'm out riding again in the cold. It's pretty cold. Of course, what am I complaining about? Look at the sky. When I'm not moving, it's warm. The sun is great. But on the bicycle, it's probably below zero. But I've got a light down jacket and a vest, so I don't feel too bad. I'm gonna take a short ride because I'm cooking for some friends later. I'm gonna try to see if I can get a view of the ocean without going to the ocean, because I don't have that much time. This big huge orchard on my left, I saw them put that in. It took a couple of years to prepare the ground, and then they planted last year. It's huge. Huge, huge. Not Outback Raven Show huge or Yellowstone huge, but for all our little villages, it's a big spread. Gonna have to keep the sheep out of there, man. Gonna have to protect it, because somebody's gonna come for it. For those apples, or whatever the heck they are. I think they're apples. Get ready to defend it. So I was talking to some friends. One of my friends, really lovely person, interesting person. She's in the hospital with some kind of a tumor. I think it's a benign tumor. But of course, it's the vaccine's fault, so that's what she thinks anyway. And she has a number of go-to sources like Zero Hedge and so on. Some bloggers, the usual suspects, who run the anti-vax narrative all the time. Of course, when you look across nation states for scientific consensus from the experts, you get a different story, but no conspiracy's too big for some people. It's like all those secrets, you know, it's like millions of people keeping secrets. But some are coming forward, 12, 20, 100, whatever, out of tens of thousands, to confirm their belief. And, you know, some people pick cherries because they like cherries. If I'm going to pick cherries, I'm going to go to a cherry tree. And when I see cherries, I know what cherries are when I see them. Some people, like me, are more of a chili pepper type of guy. So I'll go pick the chili peppers. Maybe the kiwi fruit. Lemons, yeah. Oranges, sure. But you have the conversation, and almost always it comes down to a straw man. They say things like, you got to stop using Google, or they think that Google shapes your worldview somehow, that you use the search engine and that makes you believe things, as opposed to focusing on the narrow sum of sources that they have that are truth, full of truth and accuracy, facts. So it's always, you're dumb because you use Google or you use a search engine to find stuff on the web. We all do that. But I have 10 bloggers and 10 doctors and so on. I think I am widely read, or I don't know, maybe I'm not. I try to look at different sources and have quite a few. I have an RSS feed that feeds me stuff from sources that I trust. Maybe I'm stupid. I shouldn't trust those sources. I don't know. I make an effort anyway. And I'm pretty open-minded, which is why I get fooled all the time. So I'll follow people for a while and they sound like they know what they're talking about. And so I might even share it. And then later I regret it. Like, why did I share that guy? It's so wrong. Something tips me off eventually. And I think to myself, maybe this person isn't a great source for this information. And then my default is to go back to consensus, to, the experts. Oh no, the experts. And for certain people, if you use any fact-checking system at all, you're crazy. Because fact checkers are all paid by big pharma or big oil or big green or big whatever. So can't use fact check organizations. So my default is to go back to expert sources, see what they're talking about, and then I can let the other source go. I'm not afraid to be wrong. And sometimes the crazier the better, because it's entertaining. It's fun to see what they come up with and how limber they are of mind to make everything fit their theory. It's like high literary criticism, biblical criticism, historical criticism, things like that, where somebody goes deeper and says, well, look, it doesn't make sense that this prophet did this, that, and the other thing. Or it says this in this holy book, but that doesn't make sense. Not the way we understand the world today. And then the people will always have, apologists will always have a million great stories and reasons or interpretations of why. Yeah, you can believe that because it's actually really this. This is what they meant, and so on. And they reinterpret it. And a lot of these old myths and things, there's a lot open for interpretation. If you read a rigorous, well-done scientific paper with studies that were blinded and well constructed and all that kind of thing, they try really hard to let you know the ins and outs of the experiment and the data and why they're coming to certain conclusions and how, just a minute, disclaimer, we're not sure yet, we need more data, more studies. Conspiracy person might say, see, they're doing it for the money, they just want another grant. Well, yeah, scientists gotta eat. They can't just pass the plate around. So, yeah, that's basically it. I could send 100 articles from different countries, different science organizations on a topic. But once certain people have decided that certain sources are the true sources, then all the rest of them are just part of the conspiracy to misinform or disinform or whatever, to muddy your brain. And I don't know how many people think like that, because the fact is most people don't bother reading that stuff anyway. They just get on with life. So they're not thinking at all if they go to the hospital that it's because of the vaccine. The doctor will tell them what he or she thinks about their disease or pathology or the reason they're in the hospital, and they'll kind of go along with it. They're not that interested in digging deep. And there are doctors who will tell you to fuck off if you want to have a longer conversation and maybe have some informed opinions yourself about what's going on. Some are very, very rude people. Others are more generous with their time if they have time. But most people aren't gonna, blame every little thing they get after they've been vaccinated and boosted on the vaccine. That's a tiny minority of people. But you know a cherry when you see one. So you're gonna pick those things because you like them. All right, William T. out.